Chairman, ranking members and congressmen.
Non-human intelligence.
This is an important issue and I'm grateful for your time.
They said it under oath, in front of Congress, on camera.
But as I stand here under oath now, I am speaking to the facts as I've been told them. I was informed in the course of my official duties of a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program, to which I was denied access to those additional read-ons when I requested it. I made the decision based on the data I collected. As you know, I've suffered retaliation for my decision, but I am hopeful that my actions will ultimately lead to a positive outcome of increased transparency.
That was 2023, but it goes further than that.
To move towards an official inquiry and disclosure on this subject. It has the most profound implications for the human future, for the U.S. national security, and for world peace. Specifically, technologies connected to UFO and extraterrestrial vehicles, if declassified and used for peaceful energy generation and propulsion, would solve the looming energy crisis definitively, would end global warming, would correct the environmental challenges that the Earth is facing.
Further than that, too. The file doesn't start in 2026. It doesn't start in 2023. It doesn't start in 2001. It started long before any of them opened anything. And for the first time in modern history, the government is publicly preparing the population for something it cannot fully explain. The world is watching. The disclosure is coming. And the question everyone is asking is, what is it?
Jesus loves me.
Where did it come from?
Oh, you know Jesus.
What does it want? Here is what stopped me cold when I started pulling this file. Those are not new questions. Humanity has been asking them since before governments existed to classify the answers. Humanity just stopped using the old names. The old world had categories for this. Names, hierarchies, warnings, entire systems describing intelligences that operated alongside humanity, present, active, and not entirely transparent about their intentions. Those categories got buried. Then modernity rediscovered the phenomenon and renamed it. The Bible never described an empty universe. It described a layered one. And the question nobody in that congressional hearing room seemed willing to ask is whether we are being introduced to something new or reintroduced to something ancient under a different name with a different mask. Because the phenomenon didn't start with Pentagon briefings. It didn't start with Roswell. It didn't start with Area 51. It didn't start with the Cold War or Hollywood or a radio broadcast in 1938. It started long before any of that, and the record has been there the entire time. I pulled it. This is what I found. The old file. Egypt, 1480 BC. A document attributed to the reign of Pharaoh Thutmose III describes circles of fire in the sky, brighter than the sun, moving in formation. Whether the account is literal or embellished across centuries of retelling is still debated. But the document exists, and the imagery is difficult to set aside. April 14th, 1561. Hundreds of citizens watched objects maneuver above their city. Spheres, cylinders, crosses. A local broadsheet printed a woodcut. It still exists. You can look at it. It was a newspaper, filed by witnesses. 593 BC. A Hebrew priest named Ezekiel recorded the most technically specific aerial encounter in the ancient archive. 4 beings, wheels within wheels, movement in every direction without turning, light. Sound like rushing water. What Ezekiel described in 593 BC. People are filming on their phones in 2026. The visual is the same. The file is the same. In 1974, a NASA engineer named Joseph Blumrich read that account specifically to debunk it. He couldn't. He published a book instead, a NASA engineer. I logged that and kept moving. I know what the skeptic says here. These are ancient people trying to explain what they couldn't understand. Maybe. But the genealogical record inside the same texts tells a more specific story. Adam, Methuselah, Enoch, Noah. Overlapping lifespans measured in centuries. Continuous transmission. Not mythology passed through generations of broken telephone. A chain of custody. The Book of Enoch is not canonical scripture for most Christians, but it is old enough to be quoted directly in the New Testament letter of Jude, and it describes beings who descended, who crossed a boundary they were not permitted to cross, who taught humanity things it was not prepared to receive, advanced knowledge, hidden systems, forbidden instruction. Genesis chapter 6 names the event plainly. The sons of God saw the daughters of men. The offspring were called Nephilim. Then the text says something specific about Noah. He was perfect in his generations. The Hebrew word is tamim, uncontaminated, without blemish. In context, a lineage designation. Cross-reference Genesis 3:15, a prophecy filed before the flood. A deliverer would come through the seed of a woman. If every bloodline is corrupted before that deliverer arrives, the deliverer cannot come. The deeper I got into the file, the less Genesis 6 looked like random transgression. I sat with that for a while. Then I noted the strategic logic. Jude 1:6 records the consequence. Those angels are held in chains in darkness until judgment. Not all of them. The file is more complicated than that, but that detail is for a later filing. The modern case files. Roswell, New Mexico. The official explanation changed 3 times over 30 years. Area 51 didn't officially exist until 2013. NASA, the agency that put men on the moon, is now on record saying some things in the sky don't fit known aerospace categories. The institution humanity built to explore the unknown is now admitting the unknown is closer than expected.
I saw this illumination that was moving with respect to the stars. We were smart enough to not say, Houston, there's a light out there that's following us. So technically, it becomes an unidentified flying object.
Even if NASA is not your favorite witness, and I know, for some people, the moon still has a soundstage problem. The private sector has entered the chat. SpaceX is not chasing myths. It is landing rockets backward on ocean platforms, and the man trying to make Mars a backup hard drive for humanity still leaves the door open.
They sure are subtle. I mean, if they wanted us to know, obviously they could just,
For sure.
show up and walk down Main Street,
Right.
like, hey, I'm an alien, check me out,
Right.
Here's my spaceship, and just land in the middle of Times Square. I'll be like,
Right.
okay.
Or hover over downtown LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were like, okay, we believe you.
Yeah.
So whatever they are, they are very subtle, these aliens.
Not proof. Just another witness refusing to close the file.
I still love you. We have a Falcon 9 on board.
I'm not telling you what happened at any of these locations. I'm telling you the files were managed, and managed files are their own kind of evidence. Apache Sit Greaves National Forest, Arizona, November 5th, 1975. Travis Walton was on a timber crew of 6 men. Coming around a bend in the road, they saw a large, luminous object hovering above the trees. Walton stepped out of the truck, walked toward it. The object discharged a beam of energy and threw him backward. The crew drove away in panic.
We gotta go back for him. Yeah, we have to.
Then one of them made them turn around.
Yeah.
They drove back into the dark. He was gone.
Baseplate, this is Unit 3. We're at the South Trail marker.
Travis Walton was missing for 5 days. 6 witnesses, multiple polygraph examinations,
Gonna be all right, buddy.
decades of consistent testimony. Whatever the explanation, the case file is not empty. And I want to say something directly to the skeptic here. You do not have to believe the witness to notice the repetition. The behavioral signatures Walton described: paralysis, loss of agency, non-human beings operating with complete control over the witness, appear in ancient Babylon, medieval Europe, and across cultures that never communicated. Different era, different language, same file, same mask, different face. Around the same era.
Well, there's several, actually 9 flying saucers, flying discs that are out there of extraterrestrial origin.
The live interview with the shadowy Dennis drew international attention. Portions were broadcast by radio in 6 European countries and in a nationally televised TV special in Japan. Despite numerous inquiries and feelers, Dennis has remained anonymous until now. His real name is Robert Lazar.
A physicist named Bob Lazar claimed he was contracted to back engineer recovered craft at a classified site adjacent to Area 51.
Thank you.
His employment at Los Alamos was verified. His story has never been conclusively debunked. A documentarian named Jeremy Corbell spent years building a recorded case around Lazar's testimony. The interviews exist.
If the public could see the things that some of us journalists have seen, it would be shocking.
I did not believe that this should be a security matter. Some of it, sure. But just the concept that there's definite proof. We even have articles from another world, another system. You just can't not tell everyone.
The documentation is public. I am not filing his claims as confirmed. I am filing the specific word he used.
We reverse engineered alien spacecraft.
Reverse engineering. The question the file quietly raises is where the original technology came from and how old it actually is. The abyss keeps showing up in the file. October 11th, 1492. The night before Christopher Columbus made landfall in the Americas. He recorded in his ship's journal a light rising and falling over the water ahead. He described it as a wax candle lifting and dropping in the darkness. His crew witnessed it. He filed it. A retired Navy admiral recently went on record saying evidence now points toward non-human intelligence operating in the oceans. Ancient texts placed hostile intelligence below the water. Revelation 13 produces its first beast not from the sky, but from the sea. Columbus logged it from a ship in 1492. A Navy admiral logged it from a briefing room in 2023. I noted the location. There is a wall in this office I haven't shown you yet. Faces. Researchers, scientists, whistleblowers, and investigators who spent their careers pulling this same thread. Some died young. Some died suddenly. Some died in ways that didn't satisfy the people who knew them. I'm not calling it a conspiracy. I am calling it a pattern that deserves its own file. That file isn't open today, but it's on the board. The old file was never the whole case, because once the records start opening, the next question is not just what the government found, it is who taught the world how to understand it. If this case is worth keeping open, hit like. It helps the algorithm find the other witnesses. Subscribe if you want the next file when it drops, because this investigation is not ending. It is just moving to the next folder.